Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Can we call it that? Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different and looking at some prototypes. Okay, not exactly prototypes. They're resin outputs, but either way. If you remember earlier in the year, there was a Kickstarter called Action Force, and it was 6-inch scale military type figures that had a very G.I. Joe flavor to it. Unfortunately, the Kickstarter didn't go through. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm just here to play with some toys. Okay, play is a strong word. Fragile. That must be Italian. Now, being resin, it's more delicate. It's definitely not factory plastic. It won't be able to bend. It won't be able to flex. I won't be able to put a couple of things on, but we'll be able to look at the actual sculpt of these, what they look like. Scale is even iffy, but again, we'll get to that here in a second. And the articulation is in it, so we'll get a good idea of what they play like. With the amount of foam, that gives you an idea of just how delicate these are. In fact, the female figure is kind of in pieces. Again, being resin, they don't lock together. There's a tightness to them. I may be able to get it to hold to give you an idea of the figure overall, but once again, this isn't meant to be played with. Oh, okay, cool. And what do we got over here? He seems to be holding together fairly well. Ball joint. I can see Bobby, the creator, watching this video and going, easy boy. And there we go, looking at them. They're just primered to have a little paint on them. You can see the white poking out here and there in places. That's just the color of the resin underneath the primer. Now, this is where I would usually be manhandling them, just going at it all over the place, but that's not how this works. These are meant to come apart, to be molded, or get the pieces looked at and everything. They're just standing here. So we're going to take a look at this the best we can with them standing. You can see on the torsos some nice sculpting work here and there, the wrinkles coming through, the seam lines. But if you look even closer, knocking down some light or bringing this around here, you can see there's a texture to parts of it too. It's very subtle. It's not overly done like some companies do when they shrink stuff down to 6-inch scale, but it's noticeable when you get up on it. And that's the same for the pants. There's wrinkles right here, but there's also pockets, there's straps, there's that texture on the inside of the leg right there. The knee pads are nicely done, and then you get down to the boots, and it's the same thing. She has some kick pads, he has some straps, just nicely sculpted. Oh, easy. There's a better look at the holsters on the hips. They're a little bit big, they're a little bit clunky, but they look very tactical. No! I do like how the holsters are part of a separate piece that strap around the leg, but it looks well integrated into the sculpt of the leg itself. I'm pretty sure on the final product, those will be removable. There's also a loop back here on the back of the belt for the male, and then a knife sheath on the female belt. He has a left leg strap, apparatus, whatever. I don't know if this is a bigger pouch or something. She doesn't have that, but I have a good feeling that there's going to be a lot of interchangeability with this line. Again, you can see a slight texture to the pants. Side shot of the boots, nicely done. You can see the soles down under. There's pouches sculpted up on the arms, but they don't stick out at you. It doesn't feel like an afterthought. It feels like it's part of the uniform. And then up at the heads, both are kind of generic. They're very nicely sculpted. The hair here is short enough that it's not going to quite get in the way. Oh, I didn't even notice the braid coming across right there. You're still going to get lots of movement out of it because of the length of the hair, but it still looks nice. I would demonstrate that, but it kind of feels like, oh no, this is hinged. It's just a very tight ball under there. I don't want to go turning on it because I don't want to snap the resin. But like I showed, it's very Hasbro-esque with the hinge, and then there's a ball joint up on top. Oh, some tilt. Now I'm going to stray a bit from my usual review style and go with sizes here since I have them standing up. I'm going to put a tape measure to them. I'm going to do some comparisons with them, but remember, this is a resin output. I'm getting my point across by tapping this. When it goes to the factory, it will shrink a little bit, so they will be smaller when you get to the final product. But he stands at 6.5 inches tall, while she stands at 6.25. I do this with every comparison. Here is the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Stormtrooper and the Hasbro Marvel Legends Black Panther. Both are about standard size in their own franchises, although Black Panther is now on the small side when it comes to Legends. To give you a better idea there, here is a newish Marvel Legends Skullbuster and an oldish Marvel Legends Punisher. I think I did some repainting on that, I can't remember. Again, remember, these will shrink a little bit. But looking at the Reaver, I wonder. Here they are with the McFarlane Fortnite Wildcard and the Jazzwares Fortnite Havoc, not Firefly. Here they are with the Mezco 1/12 Collective Joker and Logan, the Medicom Mafex comic book Spider-Man and Deadpool, and the McFarlane Call of Duty Ruin and Ghost. Okay, and the DC Universe Classics classic Batman and Robin. World's great. Like I said, I won't be able to show full range here, but we'll get an idea of what the articulation is like. Up at the neck, there is a hinge with a ball joint on top of it. Not bad at all because of the short haircut. A little bit of tilt. Then, of course, swivel. There is a butterfly joint built into the torso. I'm not forcing that. We'll hinge out. That swivels all the way around. Swivel at the bicep. Double elbow. There are pins holding this in, so let's see how far we can go with it. You hear my voice trail off because I'm under the camera looking super close, making sure not to break it. Not bad at all. May have more range in the final product. Up and down hinge on the wrist, which if you have a trigger finger, you need an up and down hinge. Ball joint at the upper torso. Nice opening, nice length to the ball joint itself. So you can crunch forward, can arc back, tilt both sides. That also rotates. There's rotation at the hips too. And the belt here is loose, so you can hide the joint if you want to have it riding a little bit high. I figure that's going to be a more rubbery piece in production. Ball joint coming out to the hip, comes forward, back not so much, but that's okay. The butt's there. Out, I can see the trench on the top of the leg goes higher than this, but what's happening is these straps, this armor piece, the holster is hitting right there. So if that were able to slide up and down, you'd probably get most of the way out. Swivel at the hinge, swivel at the hinge, swivel at the thigh. Double knee, again, this is pinned. Let's be very careful. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, I start to feel tension there, but it looks like it goes further. I'm just hitting on a little piece of resin right there. So we'll let the boot, hinge at the ankle goes back, forward, and then forward facing pin for rocker. That wasn't nerve wracking or anything. For the female, essentially all the same thing, which is kind of cool, getting a female with a double elbow joint. Again, this is very tight up here. I'm afraid if I force it, I'm gonna snap the ball off the top of the hinge, but you can get up and down. Oh, well, here's a difference. It doesn't look like there's a butterfly joint. It may be because of the thinner shoulder width right there. That hinges up, swivels around, bicep, double elbow. Here, let's do this. It kind of feels like when it was primered, the paint may be dried up in there. Ooh, the left is free though. How about we go to right about there? Again, up and down hinge on the wrist because it's a trigger finger. On the left fist though, it is side to side. Another ball joint in the torso, long stem, nice range there. Again, swivel at the waist. Another loose belt to hide that articulation point. Ball hip comes up and back. There's your out. The holster is a little bit lower on the female, so doesn't get in the way. Boom. Swivel at the thigh. Double knee gets up to about right there. Baggy pants. Swivel at the boot, which I do like on characters like this because of the interchangeability. You can swap it out with other figures. Hinge at the ankle goes back, forward, and then some forward facing. He did send along some accessories like vests for both of them. These will look awesome. But again, these are resin, so I can't open them up. I can't stretch them out. I can't get them on the figure itself. Well, I guess I could take the arms and stuff off. Look, kids, that's what an inside of a ball joint looks like. At the factory, this gets sonic welded together around the ball joint, and then you pop on the leg. I guess I could pop the arms off and the torso and the head and everything and try to get this on here, but I am not going to risk breaking it. But you can see the awesome amount of detail here. Just everything sculpted in. It's very nice, very sharp. I like how hers has kind of a spine armor to it. That's awesome. I really want to see him on it, but I am not taking that chance, my friends. There's also this cool little knife. I like the serrated edge on the back. The blade is tough looking, and even the handle has some nice detail to it. And that just slides right into the sheath on her back. The male figure comes with an assortment of hands. There's a knife grip hand for both the left and where'd the other one go? And the right, along with an alternate fist for the right hand, a trigger finger for the left that does have the up and down right there, and then holding the weight of the weapon left hand for when your trigger finger's on the right. And then she comes with the same assortment: knife wielding left hand, knife wielding right hand, fist for the right hand, trigger finger for the left. Comes with a very nice sculpted weapon. You can see all the little details on the scope here on the barrel. Nice sharp. It looks very detailed. Like it. You'll also notice that right there. Comes with several of these to put right there. It doesn't hold in because, again, it's resin. When it gets to plastic, the tolerances will be a little bit tighter. Same goes for this gun. Nice sharp detail all around. I just love the look of this. And this may be why she doesn't come with a left hand that holds the weight. She comes with a grip hand for this grip that's on the front of this. Again, there's the hole for the ammo. And then there's these two matching pistols. I'm such a sucker for matching pistols. Oh, is this for... Those shouldn't have a problem going in the hand, but there's also... Yep, there you go. Boom. Here's a very cool Action Force stand. It has 4 pegs on it, but I love the tread plate look to it. And then the Action Force logo is sculpted into it. It's just a little bit of extra detail that is appreciated, you know? It could have just been flat. This could have been painted on. And on top of that, I'm a fan of metal, so that looking like metal, ooh. There's a bandana piece that I'm assuming goes to her, but since I can't get the head off, I can't actually try it. But I like the little torn look here, these little threads hanging off of it. It just adds a little bit of realism to it, along with the nice sculpted wrinkles. She also comes with a head that is completely covered. It has that same bandana look right here, but it has the mask up and over. I like the look here. Again, lots of little detail that just comes out nicely in the sculpt. And then he comes with a masked alternate head too. A little less detailed, but it's also meant to be tighter. And even though it is tight, there are some wrinkles sticking out through here where it comes around to the back. I like that extra just thought put into it. And since I can get the head off on him, that works. That looks good too. But to punch that up even more, there's also this helmet with the night goggles hanging down on front. These side flaps are a separate piece, so they kind of flip out a little bit. Again, I'm not sure how that'll work on the final, but I have had no problem slipping this on and getting this look. That, along with the vest and everything else, boy, he be armored up, he ready to kick some ass. So at the end of the day, after messing around with these for a couple of hours, I'm kind of sad that the Kickstarter didn't go through. But you did hear me several times say in production or when it gets made, he's going to give it another shot. We should be seeing the Kickstarter come up again very soon. From what I understand, it'll be a little bit stripped down, but hopefully this time we can get some, military top figures. No action shots here. Again, these are resin. I didn't want to push anything too much. I don't want to shove weapons into hands. I don't want to push anything too far. I definitely don't want to break anything. But even just standing here, they look cool. That also means I didn't get to play as much as I wanted to, but even though these are prototypes, these are early resins, these before the factory, it's part of the process. And even though I love toys, I love some toys, I also love the process of making toys. So to get to mess with something in that process, not a finished product, but not just an idea in somebody's head, I like it. I love it. I want more. I'll definitely be looking into these once these come back around. So if you enjoyed this review of sorts, kind of a mess around, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.